on, sexy.
Hey, what's up? That should be just fine. Partner! Attaboy. All right, we're picking that one up.
This is pretty much the way you relax, like both when the band is off tour and when the band is on.
Yeah, totally. It's just, it's the best way for me to get away from the madness for a while, you know? We should be acting like we're talking about something totally important. You know?
Totally.
I can't even believe it. All right.
Why do you think you guys are still together after all
The
this
music,
stuff?
man. Totally. We just, as much as maybe some of us, you know, don't want to do it anymore or whatever, I just know in our hearts we want to see what else we're going to create. You know, and nobody wants to miss that. It is totally tough. Everybody's like, oh, it must be so neat to be a rock star and brr. Well, it's not. You know, that hour and a half on stage is the shit.
Right.
But other than that, dude, it blows. It straight blows.
Just all the waiting around.
Yeah. Just driving, airports, airplanes. I mean, it takes so much to even just get it started that, you know, sometimes you wonder why you're doing it, but then you get to go play and you meet kids that are like
Totally into it.
saving lives and all that cool shit, you know, doing like Make-A-Wish stuff. Just like, geez, dude, this kid is the biggest Slipknot fan in the world and he's dying. You know, and like you're helping him out.
You don't pay that much attention to what people here have to say about it at this point?
No, I can't. I won't give them that power. You know, I won't give it to them. Because nobody in the world will ever know what it's like except for 9 people. And they can say whatever they want and they can do whatever they want, but we're the only ones that really know what it's all about. And if we dig it and we're doing it and we like it, that's the most important thing. Just so happens that millions of kids also dig it, you know, and that's just icing on the cake for us. Thank God that we were all kind of older when it started. Because I tell you what, if this would have happened to me when I was 17, I wouldn't be sitting in this cart for damn sure. I'd be dead.
Just spend all the money partying. And
You know what? I'd have been so fucked up and had the fastest car in the world, and I would have killed myself for sure. It's just on all the time, man. It's just so fucking brutal. You know, I mean, even practice is like full on.
Right.
So it's the first day, I remember the first day I showed up to try out for the band, I was just like, what in the fuck am I getting myself into, you know? But it's just the power of music, man. You good?
I overshot it completely.
Good. At least you're going for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because anything goes.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, we set each other on fire. Like, we don't care.
Right.
You know, and then
clowns whacking at people with the baseball bat.
Yeah, and you can't go back into the dressing room and be like, I can't believe you let me on fire. You know, no. It's not like that. It's like, you should have let me on fire more.
Right.
You didn't pour enough gasoline on me. That's how we run. And as sick as that is, that's just where it is. It's exactly where it is. It's right where it should be. You know?
How has it changed, like, the way the people from Des Moines view you guys? How has that changed?
Oh, probably for some people. You know, I just tend really not to be in the scene. You know, there's not too many big things that come out of here.
Right.
So it's pretty neat for people to look at you.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's one of them.
That's
My
true.
son's brother's babysitter's nephew loves you guys. You're like, sweet. What do you need, you know?
Oh, Maroon. This is gonna be a great sequence.
Keep going, brother.
That's
You'll get it one day. You'll
that's
run
what
out
I'm here for.
of Earth. Just be you and the ball left in outer space. Everybody can take a little bit of Slipknot and put it into their own life. You know?
That's cool.
Yeah. Controlled violence, man. 'Cause it's a violent world.
Yeah.
You need to be able to stay cool in it, but yet go with it.
And kick some ass as well.
And kick some ass as well.
Let's finish up this hole and get to the beer.
You know, I learned a lot of things about becoming who I am too through him. You know, he had your back no matter what, and that's a quality that I'll always try and take with me through life.
Cell phone and we're gonna come out. Where's he? I don't have one. You gotta find. Who's got a cell phone? You got a phone and water with it. Drink some fucking water. You got a phone? No. Oh God. Drink some fucking water. You want to take it home? Yeah. That's so fat, dude. What's the Andy's number? It's not 651. It's not this one, is it? 260. Hold on. Today's a good day.
Her number's been different. What the hell is going on? I think we're about to launch right now.
Hey guys, I just want to say.
Slipknot. Hallo meine Kamikaze auf FIFA 2. Ich habe heute meine Slipknot. Welcome to the show. Und die Guys machen immer ja auf Wild, aber in Wirklichkeit trinken sie ja nicht. Hey, I can stop it, it's no problem, already.
Give it to me.
What are you going to do with it? So, what kind of cake you like to? You okay?
Yeah, you can get one cake.
Habe ich selbst gebacken, natürlich. Ja, und ja. Imagine, das ist eine nette, es sind eigentlich nette junge Männer und ich bin hier, um vielleicht sie zu resozialisieren. Ja, I'm a social worker. Oh, hey. Anything you want to tell our audience about that video?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's ours and nobody likes it, so fuck it.
The whole band is like a concept. You have numbers, you have these outfits, the masks. Where does that evolve from?
It's not really a concept. It's our way of kind of flipping off the whole music industry because everybody's become so fucking fashion conscious and everybody's so quick to drop a fucking name here and there that the music has gotten lost. So we're to say, you know what, fuck what we look like, fuck what clothes we're wearing, fuck who sponsors us. Where's the fucking music? Where's the heart? Where's the fucking expression? That's what Slipknot's about, and that's what we're always gonna fucking be about. So that's what kind of, the concept is there's no concept at all, you know? Just the other day I was watching the pornographic version of Bambi, and I was saying to myself, you know, I really wish I was there helping out in any way I could. And I started to tear up a little bit, yeah, especially when, you know, the den mother started to get drilled by the sex drill, and yeah, I'm kind of an emotional guy when it comes to that. Put your foot through it, clown. He's gonna entertain himself like that for a while.
Is it a whole time, like in hotel rooms?
He breaks shit all the fucking time. You might want to watch shards of glass flying into your coffee.
I heard you beat up a MTV VJ or presenter.
No.
Bound him to a chair or whatever.
Did we do that?
I don't know. You got that shot.
What?
There's so many things floating around about us right now. We don't even know what's true and what's not.
I'd like to fucking beat up some MTV VJs.
Hey, you want to flip for a punch in the face? Flip a coin. If you win, you get to hit me. If I win, I get to hit you.
No. We'll do that later on. I think your role models, maybe for kids in.
God, I hope not.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Don't
Keep that, dude.
Keep
Keep
It's
that.
so
That's
beautiful.
fucking really nice.
Yeah, okay, right.
That should be the thing you do.
Pricks. Come on.
Super Kamikaze auf FIFA 2 mit Slipknot. Wir sprechen gleich noch weiter über die neue Übersetzung des Knigges und haben dann noch den Christian Wunderlich gelernt. Die hat er leider noch nicht zerstören. Ich gehe davon aus, dass es gleich passieren wird. Sie beim Pinkeln ein bisschen auf den Anzug gekleckert, aber sonst ist soweit alles okay. Ist eine nette Band.
Chris, what did you do?
I was an electrician. I got shocked every fucking day.
How through with that thing, dude?
No.
Hope you even.
Hallo bei Kamikaze auf FIFA 2. Der sucht was. Der sucht da irgendwo was.
Bring down the wall!
Liebe Eltern, wir sind der Sender, der euren Kindern Spaß macht. Sie sollten mal über ihre Erziehung nachdenken. Ja, das ist übrigens die Band, die am Massaker in Littleton überhaupt nicht schuld ist. Clown, how often do you cry? That you need so much toilet paper.
What's up? Sabrina Stern. I'm sitting here in the dressing room waiting on Chris from Slipknot. We'll be right back with the interview.
Give this a shot, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
You got it? What did you do?
Tore my ACL.
At a show?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Jumped off Joey's riser and
There we go.
that's it.
Away we go. Well, here we are, back in the dressing rooms talking to Chris, and we just found out he's got a torn ACL. Came in here on crutches. Thanks for hobbling in here.
Yeah, no problem. It's all good.
Now you guys are in Atlanta, Georgia tonight. This tour is amazing. I think you have something like 31 stops, and it ends in April, so it's just like bam, 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 bam. I mean, do you get burnt out at all, or?
You know, the road's the road. I mean, we're used to it. It's like, it's all we really know, kind of, you know what I mean? So, you know, we go 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off, which, you know, makes the time go faster, but every, you know, just that hour and a half that we get with our fans is just, like, priceless. So, the rest of it's hard, but the show is awesome.
Right.
You know, so, it's catch-22.
Right, so the tour bus being on there. Now, you guys have 9 people in your group, which is a huge group. And, like, it seems to me, are there any, like, cliques in the group? Or, like, more people, like, a couple people hang out together and then there's, like, kind of like that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of, you know, it's just, it's actually kind of cool because you have that many people to hang out with, you know what I mean? So, you really never get sick of being in this band, you know, it's always just so crazy and, you know, just a lot of friends.
Are you guys always, like, just out partying, going crazy, or is it, like, focused, you know, we have to do so much that we don't have time for all that?
Well, our live show is, like, brutal enough to where you really don't want to be that guy, you know, but yeah, we have fun, you know, it's cool.
Right on. Now, who do you hang out with the most in the group?
Actually, I kind of move around the most, probably.
Oh yeah, you're kind of like the drifter.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
got 2 band buses, you know, so Corey and I will be in the back usually, like, after the show playing Xbox or whatever most of the time, so.
What's your favorite Xbox game?
Well, right now we're tripping out on Tiger Woods, so.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Tiger Woods. What was the one before that?
Big Game Hunter.
Big Game Hunter. Well, that's with the guns and everything, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, is that pretty much your free time? That's what you like to do? Is just kick back, play some Xbox?
Yeah, pretty much, you know, call the girl, call home.
Any other hobbies?
Hang out. Yeah, there was until this accident. So now my hobby is making sure I don't screw it up more.
Right. Now, you got that from which show?
Columbus.
And it was from
Jumping off Joey's riser.
jumping on Joey's riser. In the middle of the show, now, did you know you were hurt? I mean,
Oh yeah,
I thought
I thought I broke it.
it was done.
Yeah.
Did you continue the show?
Yeah,
That's the
just
thing.
dropped out a couple songs and then just got back out there.
Did you go to the hospital that night, or?
Yeah, I went to the emergency room, did the whole ambulance ride, and it was funny. I'm like, flip on the sirens, let's get out of here. I'm like, I'm paying for this, let's use it.
Right, because ambulance rides aren't.
Yeah, so
cheap.
the guy's like, oh, woo. So, it was cool, and then I had an MRI the next day and have surgery whenever I can.
Oh, so you gotta wait for your surgery, I guess, until you don't have a tour. Now, are you sketched out about that? Like, you're in some podunk town, like, because there's some, your tour is just going all over the U.S. Like, you walk into a hospital, you don't know the doctors and what they're capable of.
Yeah, but
nervous?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's one of the benefits of being in a band. You can pick up the vibe off people pretty quick.
Right.
You know if they're good people or not. So, actually, my doctor in Chicago that looked at my MRI and everything, he's awesome. So.
Right on. Now, Clown's wife, girlfriend, is ill. She's in the hospital. He just came back today, right?
Uh-huh.
Everything okay?
Everything's great, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, you have a significant other back at home.
I do.
And how is things with you going on the road? Is it?
It's cool. Like, that's just our relationship, I guess.
That's how it's been from the beginning.
Yeah, a
pretty
lot
much.
of phone calls. She comes out, hangs out, and it's awesome because then you go back home after the tour and it's like a brand new relationship. You haven't seen each other for so long,
Right.
so it's like it's killer.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder,
There
I
you
guess.
go.
You've been on the road with this band for how many years?
I think it's year 6.
Year 6. Now, were you a part of a band before this?
Yeah. We were all pretty much in local bands, around Iowa.
Mhm.
So and then we just kind of everything is pieced together. Fate has it. And there's Slipknot.
Right on. Now, what were your influences before? Did you always know that you wanted to, like, be famous, be in a big band kind of thing, or was it just kind of something that happened and you're like, cool?
Yeah, I mean everybody air guitars in their basement at home, and everybody has those.
We air fiddle.
Those dreams. Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
weird?
Air fiddle, air saw.
Right.
But no, it's always been a dream, and it was something that in the back of my mind I truly believed I wanted to do.
So from the first time you picked up the sticks, you were just like...
Yeah, just playing like AC/DC songs, just simple stuff and just laying it out like that,
Were you, like, when you first started, was it something that you were pouring your heart and soul into, like, every day, and just, like, you got blisters on your hands kind of thing, or was it just something that came so natural to you that you were just like, oh, I got this is easy, and didn't have to practice that much?
Well, it was weird because drummers have a rough time if you don't have like your own place to play. Because then you're at the mercy of like your parents like leaving, then you got like say 45 minutes just to like bust out as much as you can because it's it's so loud and annoying.
Right.
That it's tough to really sit down and hone your instrument. So it was pretty much I just went to the school of beating the absolute shit out of my drums, and getting the most out of it during that window of time that I had, So it's like, that's just the way it happened, And then once, just finding places to jam is just like.
Were they
crazy
pumped
deal.
on it? Like, were they like,
Of
did
course
they
not.
buy you your first set of drums or anything, or did you have to go like work a lemonade stand or
No,
something?
they did when I was a little kid, it was like a Muppet drum set, But as soon as I pounded on that for a little while, my dad's like, that's done. But it wasn't until I was in my like early 20s that my aunt got me a drum set and let me practice in her basement. So
Oh, right on. So you've had support for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Right on. Now you have some meet and greets after this and stuff like that. Do you have a lot of those with your fans? Like, is it all about
every day.
going out and
Every
just
day.
to seeing everybody signing autographs and everything, really in touch? Do you answer emails and all that jazz?
I'm not the email guy.
You're not the email guy?
No, I don't have a computer, so I'm not in that world. But I'll definitely meet them and sign
Did you not have a
autographs.
computer? It's been years of this.
Yeah, no kidding. As soon as I get one of those someday, I'll just be absorbed in it, And I got too much other stuff I like to do rather than sit there and like geek out on that thing.
Right.
So.
Now, do you have a house back in Des Moines, or?
I do, yeah.
So you're there. Do you have pets or anything?
Nope.
No pets.
No.
just go back and hang with your chick and then back out onto the road.
Yep.
Well, it's been an awesome time talking with you here. Good luck on your show. The crowd out there is going nuts. I can hear them back here, and we're so far back, it's retarded. And this edition has been brought to you by the letter Q and Pampers pre-filled diapers. Later.
The last interview you talked about your mask, that it really stunk. How is it now?
Worse.
Yeah?
Worse, yeah. We've been on tour now for, a year and a half. And, it's worse every day, but, it's the only way we know.
What does it smell like?
Puke, piss, mixed into one with a little hair on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you look back now on the recording of the last album, now with 1.5 years of touring?
Just the major success that it's been, and how important this record was to the continuation of Slipknot. We opened a lot of doors that needed to open.
Can you name me one? One door you were saying that you needed to open?
Yeah, one door is Big Radio, which Duality still won't die. That song is still on the charts in America, and it's still running strong. Like a lot of places don't even want another song from us right now because they're still getting so many requests for Duality that, and that's a situation we've never been in before, and our record's been in the top 200 for 55 weeks now, and the Iowa record was in there, I think, for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So, it's another level for us, and we're just grateful to be a part of it.
What has changed for you, with the 9 of you since the last album, if you compare it to the previous two? The bond between it.
It's just a lot stronger, we had gone through a lot of trials and tribulations through, management to record label to everything just being completely out of control for us. And we grew up. No, everybody's really happy to be doing what we're doing. We needed that break, and it just served us so well, and we're just stronger than ever. We tour smarter. We have better management now.
And smarter touring, how?
Just the way you prepare yourself, just the way you pack. It might sound confusing, but if you've ever been on the road for quite a substantial amount of time, the little things that you add into your life can really make or break you. And we all have those little intricacies that that we need to survive.
And what is the thing you have then?
A lot of books. That way I can leave this whole situation for a while and go into another world. So it's nice to escape like that. Before I just thought it was like party, all this stuff, and now I realize I need quiet time to center myself.
What's the best book you've read on tour?
Yeah, there's a book called The Power of Now by a man called Eckhart Tolle, and it's just like brain medicine, And
what did you learn from it?
Just how to not let my mind be addicted to my own mind, basically, and that's easy to do in this lifestyle, is listening to that guy.
Okay, yeah.
That guy can fuck off.
Yeah.
So where does the design of the mask come from? I read a lot of interpretations. There was some like Pinocchio story, or that it reminded of a fellow symbol. So what's the story of this mask?
Well, this mask, when I got in the band, was already made for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't make it. So I don't know where it came from, but I made it who I am today.
Yeah. But isn't this type, it's gummy? I think it's some gummy stuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's gross.
When I did an interview like half a year ago, I talked to Jim Root, and that was just before the record All Hope Is Gone was released. And he told me that after a long break for Slipknot, it was kind of a tough situation for the band to come together again, because everybody did his own thing. And so how did this situation develop?
Just getting all of us in the same room is where you got to start, Mm-hmm. And once we all get together and we feel like, that we're here to be in Slipknot, mm-hmm. It's just go time at that point, But getting all of us in one room is a nightmare enough, even on the road, to have all of us try and get in the same room is tough. But once we get together, you know, we're ready to go. You know, we're professionals, and you know, we understand what we have to do.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned that there's even a discussion that you were thinking about if you would continue with this band or maybe break up after this record cycle. Is this still a discussion?
No, it never is. I mean, you know, a lot of, you know, all of us want to quit at some moment during the day, you know, and just be home or whatever. But we know how important we are to the world and to our fans, so we're just not going to stop.
Are there people that don't want to watch you without a mask, that say, I don't want to see what you look like without a mask, because then the myth, the fantasy thing is gone?
I think I would be that way. You know, if I was a fan, you know, I wouldn't want to see it either. It's like, I didn't care about seeing, like, Kiss without their stuff. Like, I didn't, like, search for pictures or, you know, anything like that, because, you know, those guys are my heroes too, you know, and I want to keep it that way. Just like you said, like in my mind and in my, you know, fantasy of what all of that is, you know. I'm a complete immature idiot, you know, and I don't care, because music is what keeps me alive, you know. And I suppose one day when that shuts off, I'll be like, oh my God, like I'm a grown-up. Like, I got to start doing grown-up things. But right now, I just don't care, man, because I'm on tour with the best band in the world. So let me get this straight. The only will is my own.
Explain to me.
I think it really sets up that verse. Like, so let me get this straight. You know, it's like really heavy and really cool. And it's really cool. Like, Corey and I make contact always during that. So,
what is the song about for you?
Actually, for me, it's like being a kid again and driving around with your buddies in the car, and somebody lights a match, and you're, you know, and you're like, damn, dude, like, get a lighter.
Yeah.
You know? To me, it's like it's a good song for me, like, as far as hanging with my buddies and driving and doing whatever you did in the car, you know, and just hanging out, yeah.
And what is the song about? Do you know for Corey?
I don't.
No?
No.
Do you talk about it?
No, I never do, you know, because that's what's so cool about music, you know?
Yeah.
I want to make it my own.
Okay.
You know, his explanation might bum me out.
Okay,
you know?
it's true. Can you explain that a bit more? Like you were saying, when you drive around with your kids, being a kid again?
That was the best time of my life. You know, it was just really carefree, and I mean, we were responsible. We all had jobs and everything, but it's like when that was over, it was time to party. You know, all of us went to the same place on the lake, and you know, got in somebody's car and drove around and in the cornfields and drank beer, and smoked weed, and did everything that, you know, that we did as kids. You know, and it was a real special time in my life musically. You know, friends-wise, like those are my friends for life. You know, like you spend a lot of time together. You know, as 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds. You know, just you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. You're trying to get laid. You're trying to buy beer and you're underage. Like all that stuff. You know, it was really fun.
Do you still see these people?
Yes, I do. Yeah, actually, some of us live real close together too.
And what do they think of your world now? Is it for them?
They keep me in check.
Yeah, how?
You know, I don't know. I just come home and, you know, if I ever feel like obviously I've seen a lot of things that they haven't, and I've experienced a lot of things that they haven't, so it's hard for them to understand when I make comments like, oh, that was awesome that you fell off. And, you know, they're like, what do you talk? Like, you know, there's just different levels of, how do you say it, like desensitization, you know, like in Europe, you can't shock them as easily as you can in America, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
And so for them, it's hard to grasp. Right?
Sometimes they're just like, dude, what do you, well, you know, come on. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm still on the road talking to clown, you know, and like, they don't, it's different languages, you know, for different situations.
But I think it's good for you to have those people.
The best. They've stuck by me, you know, even through all my, you know, hard times in the band, and, you know, and all the good times, and the good times where you feel too good and you're like crazy or whatever. They get it, you know, and it just keeps me grounded, you know.
Does it get easier now? I mean, it's been 10 years now.
I'd like to say so, but no, man.
It's not.
Now we're wanted more and more and more, you know, so it's like more demands, more interviews, more pictures, more shows, you know, it's like, but that's a good thing, you know. I mean, we never played in Serbia. We never played in, where did we play before Serbia? Croatia. You know, like, it's harder travel, but it's so worth it, you know. Even though Croatia was only 2,000 people, it went off, dude. Like, it makes it, you know, it's good.
So that's the main thing for you.
We're still doing the work. we're still working hard. Like, it's not like we've just drifted into this, all we play is this kind of thing now, you know. No, we still play 2,000 seaters, you know.
What makes it work for you then, still, after 10 years?
The kids, straight up, man. Like, it's fun for all of us. I mean, it's what we do and it's what we've always wanted to do, but to see their reaction every night and to know some kid in Croatia maybe had waited 10 years to see this band, you know, and now he's 35 years old, you know, it's like, we give them that gift, and it's awesome.
And there's 9 members of the band. How do you decide, you know, how do you make sure everyone has a role, and, you know, do you all have a process, a role in the creating process?
Not really. I mean, we just all kind of throw in our ideas, you know, and we just all kind of work on everything at certain weird times. It's not like it's a regimented process.
So do you prefer recording in studio? I know some bands like that, or do you like putting your stuff out there on the road on tours?
Definitely on tour. Yeah, the studio it's weird, you know, because you're listening to the same thing over and over and over, and you know, it's just a different environment. You know, I'd rather play live with the fans than, you know, sit in a studio and, you know, pound things out.
I've heard Slipknot concerts are the best show on the planet. How do you respond to that?
I think it is too. I mean, it's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, good music, great fans. I mean, it's the total package.
Yeah. And what do you think makes your concert unique compared to some other concerts out there?
First of all, there's 9 guys, so, you know, there's a lot to watch. There's a lot going on, and I just think the honesty of it. You know, like, we're all really into the music, and that kind of comes through as far as, you know, we want to be there.
So, how do you feel being a part of a really legendary band like Slipknot? You've been around for 10 years. What's that like?
I really don't think about it like those kind of things too much. It's just I'm just proud of what we've accomplished, and I'm proud that we continue to keep working hard and not just lay back and just let, you know, business take over or whatever. You know, we're still in the creative process as far as the stage goes, as far as the music, you know, and everything. You know, we're really hands-on with everything about our lives in this band.
I know a lot of people out there say you guys, people would say you're evil, you're satanic, you're dark. How do you respond to that?
That's stupid, pretty much. You know, I mean, it's that's kind of a cop out for that people trying to answer what this is. You know, and so whatever. You know, I just don't even think about it. It's not any of that. You know, and
so what does Slipknot represent to you?
Slipknot, you know, for me, it's a brotherhood. It's a, you know, it's a family. It's a way of life. You know, it's everything. You know.
What do you call your fans? They have a nickname, right?
Yeah, maggots.
What does that stand for, and where did that idea come from?
Have you ever seen how maggots like sit on a dead deer or anything, and how they just swarm around and they're just all, you know?
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Kind of what we see out there, you know. That's where it comes from for me, anyway.
What do you want to say about your maggots? How are they as compared to other fans out there?
They're amazing, you know, and I've met a lot of them. I mean, you just can't believe how badass these people are as human beings. You know, everybody would think, oh, look at that Slipknot fan or whatever. He's probably, you know, fucked up or whatever. But they're not. You know, that's just another stereotype of, you know, saying that we're evil or, you know, anything like that. It's just, and it's really sad about that's the way the world is. But, you know, whatever.
I've heard you guys give a voice to teenagers who are kind of forgotten by society. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we cover everybody. You know, those people. I mean, it's such a wide range of people that, you know, you could pick any sort of category that people put people into, and, you know, we'll have a fan there.
What's been your biggest sacrifice for the band?
Probably, you know, just leaving friends and family. You know, miss a lot of things, you know, being on the road, but everybody in the band does. You know, it's tough, but we do this for a reason, you know, and we continue to do it, you know. It's just the power of music.
What's it like being famous, and, you know, when did you realize that life was different as a member of Slipknot?
Probably the second record. You know, things really started to pick up for us, and, you know, kids would wait at the hotels and stuff and, you know, want our autograph and stuff. So probably second record.
What do your family and friends think about all this?
They dig it. You know, they're real supportive, and they come out to the shows and they love it, and, you know, they saw us go from nothing to something, so it's cool.
Yeah, I think you probably have a unique story compared to most people out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, the day that I write my book, you know, it'll be full of interesting, a different take on life, you know.
Where do you see Slipknot 5 years from now? Do you still want to be doing this?
Yeah, definitely. you know, 10, 20 years from now, I'd like to still be doing it. So we'll just see if the body holds up.
Well, it's been 4 years since the previous album. What have you been doing these last 4 years?
Going crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's a break that we needed, you know, and guys have other projects that they do, and
Yeah.
It gives us that time to kind of heal and then come back even better each time. So you can really tell this time, you know, now that we're playing on our own, like the places we're playing are getting bigger and there's more fans, and that's just really good.
You were saying heal, needed to heal. What needs to heal?
The body and the mind. It's real difficult to be in Slipknot, and we tour very hard, and
Yeah.
I think that you just need to regroup everything, you know, in order to come back to this thing we call Slipknot.
You say body and mind. First start with the body. What sort of injuries did you have that you needed to heal?
I had torn my ACL, so I had to have knee surgery
Yeah.
as soon as the tour was finished. And then, you know, obviously the back and the neck and everything else is pretty much just gets shot from being on the road, you know, and traveling so hard. And
Yeah.
as far as the mind goes, it's quite a barrage of information, you know, being on tour. It's a lot of cities, a lot of tour, or a lot of concerts, a lot of interviews, you know. It's all of that stuff can, and then plus being away from home, you know, and the things that you're used to and love are separated from you for a long time. It's nice to get back to that and forget about Slipknot for a while.
Well, do you have to get adjusted again when you're home, or is it just for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it comes to a certain time at night, and I feel like I should be playing a show.
Okay.
So I get real antsy around like this time right here, you know,
Yeah.
because we're doing this right before the show. So I feel really anxious and like I should be doing something, and I still stay up really late and sleep, you know, into the afternoon like I do on tour, you know, because after the show you're so jacked up and energized that it's hard to come down. Like you just don't walk off stage and go, oh, I'm going to bed. You know, we're still really a lot of energy and a lot of adrenaline, you know, so it's hard to wind down, and it just carries into that until I get into a regular cycle, which what you call regular, you know.
Can you say that in retrospect that the 6th of July in 1998, do you still recall what you were doing?
Yeah, I was an electrician. Yeah, I was wiring houses and practicing with Slipknot, you know, trying to get to Malibu to make the first record.
Yeah.
Trying to save enough money to live out in California for that record. I remember specifically Spit It Out and just how great that song was, and I was like, man, dude, like this band has a chance, you know, and I really want to be a part of it. So I worked really hard to, you know, be in the band.
And what was your former band when you were playing in?
I played with a friend of mine, Aaron Peltz, and we played in a band called Shed.
Why did they call you?
I don't know. I believe that they had tried a lot of other people around Des Moines, and nobody really fit, you know, and I think I was probably one of the last drummers left, you know, and
who called you?
Sean. Yeah. And it was funny because I had wanted to be Joey's drum tech, and I went to the Slayer show, and I went right up to the clown and I said, hey man, I heard you guys got a record deal. If you need a roadie, I'm in.
Yeah.
And Sean had called me, I think the next day or two, and said, hey man, do you still want a job? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, meet me at my house tonight at this certain time or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well. So I went to his house, and he said, you know, he's like, you still want to work for the band? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what do you think about trying out for the band? And I was like, I'd be honored, man.
Yeah.
You know? And that was it.
What is your favorite mask? Do you know?
The very first one.
Yeah, why? How come?
Just that was the best, like, it was homemade, you know? It was the first one, man.
So,
it's like your first time getting laid, you know? It's the best one. So I remember it was just the clown and I in the basement, and he said, put this on, and handed me this one. And I put it on, and I instantly went over to the drums and started playing Sick. Just dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And he was just kind of like, fuck, man, you're the guy.
For example, the first album, if you have to describe it in a few lines. The first album, what is it?
That was pretty much the hazing part for me. You know, oh man, that was a rough time for me because they wouldn't let me record. Like halfway through the record, they just wouldn't let me record on any of the songs, and
because you were new or something.
Yeah, and just they just weren't going to hand this to me,
So you had to earn your place.
Yeah, absolutely.
How?
Yeah, it was difficult. It's to understand Slipknot back then is really difficult because it's like such mental abuse, just never getting any love from the guys at all. It was just a really hard time, but I really, really love music, man. So I think that's kind of what drove me, just knowing that song Spit It Out. Like, I just knew that it was special, man, and I knew, and I believed in that song. And because the guys just, I was like, once in a while, like I'd be driving, I remember driving with Paul, and I was like, so am I going to be number 3, because obviously, like everybody else has a number except for 3.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, man, you're not getting a number yet, and just shit like that, that constantly was like, I was like, God, man, these guys just fucking hate me, so, and yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
When was the turning point?
Probably, for me personally, maybe a month ago.
A month ago?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know, man. It's just, I'm just really hard on myself. And so I always thought that it was going to end, But I finally I have come to a time in my life where I'm number 3, man, and nobody else can do what I do, If somebody else was to try and get up there and imitate it, it wouldn't be the same. I just felt on my own that it was always going to end, now we laugh about it. They're like, oh my God, dude, like, why were you thinking that the whole time, like, you're Chris, we're a family and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, it's kind of, I have a lot to, like Jason Newsted, like when I watched that film, I relate a lot to like how he felt, about being like the new person.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, man. But
now
I'm part of the family, man.
And how does it feel?
Great. Feels really good, man. Yeah. Like I actually like have opinions now that I bring out. Like, hey man, I think we should put this song in the set. When before I was scared to say anything about this band. Because I just wanted to stay in it so bad, because I just loved it so much. That I would sacrifice myself for anything to stay in the band. But now, I know that I'm an important part of this band as far as even being friends with these guys. So now I feel more like I can present ideas and thoughts about Slipknot because now I have enough time under my belt to where my ideas will be listened to and respected.
Slipknot have officially parted ways with percussionist Chris Fehn. Chris Fehn is suing Slipknot. A report from The Blast notes that Fehn filed a lawsuit because he claims he hadn't been paid his fair share from the band. He claims to have been told that the money from merchandise and touring is always funneled through one sole company that would have split the profits and pays the members of the band based on their agreement. However, now Fehn is claiming that there are new companies set up with several other Slipknot-affiliated business entities in different states that appear to be collecting money from the band, which he feels he is not getting his fair share of what that money is. Now, this is a very broad analysis. We don't have the specific details of the lawsuit. All we know is that Fehn specifically called out Corey Taylor, the frontman, and Sean Crane, the founder of the band, for the shady business dealings. Now, immediately after this story broke last week, Corey Taylor posted an update, and he was also, pretty broad, wasn't getting specific, but all he wrote was, "You're going to read a lot of bullshit today. This is all I'll say. Just wait till the truth comes out. Long live the knot." Well, today, one piece of the truth, in Corey Taylor's opinion, certainly came out when first thing in the morning, the band revealed that Fehn is no longer in the band. In a statement that shouldn't really shock anyone if you followed the story, Slipknot writes, Slipknot's focus is on making album number 6 and our upcoming shows around the world are best ever. Chris knows why he is no longer a part of Slipknot. We are disappointed that he chose to point fingers and manufacture claims rather than doing what was necessary to continue to be a part of Slipknot. We would have preferred he not take the path that he has, but evolution in all things is a necessary part of this life. Long live the knot. Now, I've seen on social media people joking about, oh, how hard must it be to hit a few trash cans? Well, if that's all you think that Chris Fehn's role was in the band, you clearly were not paying attention. Fehn was the primary backup vocalist, helping Corey Taylor for all the biggest parts. He was one of the guys getting the crowd going. And to say that he is easily replaceable shows, in my opinion, that a true Slipknot fan you are not.
As the Slipknot divide with one-time percussionist Chris Fehn continues, another voice has entered the fray with Robert Shore, a music manager who worked with Slipknot, claiming that Fehn was never a full-fledged member when it came to the band's business dealings. Rockfeed obtained a legal affidavit from Rob Shore and Associates that claimed despite joining Slipknot in 1998, Fehn was not a shareholder, owner, or member of the business entity. Mr. Fehn performed with Slipknot and received a fee for doing so, stated the legal document. Slipknot's Sean "Clown" Cran and Corey Taylor have been named as the controlling owners of the group. Fehn sought a full forensic accounting after challenging the band's finances. Last month, the percussionist lawyer Joseph Dunn stated, he thought everyone was being treated equally. My client is really just hoping to figure out a way to work this out with the people he's worked with side by side for the last 20 years. Dunn also claimed his client's employment hadn't changed since the band dismissed him.
Longtime Slipknot percussionist Chris Fehn is getting back to some sense of normalcy on social media after being radio silent for most of the year. He is regularly interacting with fans and sharing a lot of positivity, spending a lot of time with his son as well. It looks like he is truly embracing life after the band to some degree. He commented in response to a fan who wrote the following, where he basically posted a picture of his new girlfriend, and he shared, "It's so nice to have a friend I can finally communicate with. Thank you, babe. You help me every day we talk." And then a fan wrote, "To come home to that, I'd quit the band too. Congrats, man." And then he responds by saying, "Never quit the knot. Let it be known." So Chris here is obviously wanting to put it out there that he was let go from the band or relieved of his duties. He never actually wanted to leave the band to begin with. I guess he's saying that he just wanted to learn more about the group's finances, and as a result of that, allegedly, he was let go. Maybe the members of Slipknot feel differently about that, or maybe that is the way it all went down. We really don't know. We probably never will know. But Chris is still moving forward with his suit against the members of the band. The last action that has occurred, at least publicly, in records, is that the members of Slipknot have actually formally asked a judge to have it removed because they say that he hasn't been able to demonstrate that he was actually harmed by any actions of the band. So basically, they're saying that he hasn't been able to prove that he was actually duped out of money to begin with. He's merely saying that he hasn't been able to see those records to determine whether or not he was duped out of money, which I think is what he really wants to happen. And thus far, I think that Slipknot's business accounting, that hasn't occurred. But who the hell knows at this point?
In the wake of Slipknot's announcement that percussionist Chris Fehn is no longer in the group, singer Corey Taylor has responded to a few comments on social media. When another fan suggested that Slipknot letting Fehn go was a bit dickish, Taylor offered, "You think that's dickish? Try being wrongfully accused of stealing money from someone you cared about and having a lot of your fans believe it." Slipknot released a statement saying, Chris knows why he is no longer part of Slipknot, calling out the percussionist's decision to point fingers and manufacture claims about the band's finances.
The attorneys for Slipknot and former percussionist Chris Fehn squared off in a New York court today. One of the key points from the ruling today is that this case will not be dismissed and the former percussionist will be able to proceed against his former bandmates, basically claiming that they weren't acting in his best financial interests and set up a bunch of different LLCs without his knowledge or approval. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that is essentially the basic gist of the case. Now, Justice Melissa Crane heard the motion 6, where she was going to rule on whether or not Chris Fehn had stated a cause of action. Basically, they were claiming, look, dude, you're not really saying what you're suing for. You haven't been able to prove that you've even been screwed over or anything. So she heard that, she listened to that ruling, and ultimately made a determination in the case, which was stated as follows. Metal Sucks reported Justice Crane began pressing Fehn's attorney, Joseph Dunn, who we've had on this show, on the relationship between the Slipknot partnership and related corporate entities to determine the nature of Fehn's involvement. Melissa, an attorney for the defense, a different Melissa, argued that there was no partnership implied or otherwise between Slipknot and Fehn, basically that he was not an owner of the band, while Dunn retorted that whether or not Fehn was included in that partnership, the partnership's business became the domain of those corporations once they were formed. Crane ultimately sided with the plaintiff's argument, Fehn, stating, my initial reaction is that it's a valid theory in the alternative. It may not be articulated in the way I'm most familiar with, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Deny motion to dismiss. The partnership between the New York entities, like successor liability, is an asset purchase. I need to see it further. It may be enough. It's not whether the plaintiff stated a particular cause of action, but whether they have a cause of action, it stays. Here you have Motion 5, which was filed by Clown and Corey Taylor, respectively, and several Slipknot-related corporations registered outside of New York. They're basically saying that this can't be filed in New York. There is no jurisdiction here. These entities are not listed in New York, so you can't file there. For that, Fehn's attorney argued that basically, all of Slipknot's business-related activities were conducted in New York. The defendants all list their principal place of business and only place of business as New York. It's the only place, there's nothing else. Basically, these other businesses were just shadow businesses, and everything was rolling through New York, which honestly is pretty common. The case will move forward. No date has been set for any further hearings, but a scheduled compliance conference date of June 18 indicates it will be several months before there is any significant movement in the case. As is common with these things, these cases tend to move very slowly. There's also something else that could happen behind the scenes. There could be some settlement talks between now and then. Oftentimes, a lot of these things never make it to trial because they're able to deal with some sort of a payoff. Maybe Chris Fehn is getting tired of this and they come to him with some sort of a dollar amount. They say, listen, dude, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you just agree to drop the case. And if he does that, they will drop the case. 99% of these cases never go to trial, and I would be frankly shocked if this case went to trial, because Fehn's whole argument was, hey dude, I feel like I'm being screwed out of money here, but I can't prove it. I need to access the financials. And if they say, what's a dollar amount that will make you feel like you weren't screwed out of money, and he throws that dollar amount out and they agree to it, then this whole thing goes away. While it is a legal dispute, they haven't been trading barbs back and forth against each other, and actually it's been quite the opposite, with Fehn now defending the members of Slipknot on social media, including his replacement in the band. If you can believe that, that's very big of him, and that just speaks a lot about his character. Here's exactly what they said. Please, back to Slipknot. Tortilla Guy sucks at everything. I hate his vocals. Your vocals are the best. Back vocals. Please, join Slipknot again. Fehn says, don't hate, man. The guys are trying to get on with their lives. He's trying to be a dad. He's trying to do the best he can with his son. He seems to be doing great at that. And I just wish everybody happiness in this situation and that they can find their own personal peace. And it seems like he's honestly doing that, you know, so much respect to him for that, for not being that salty ex-band bro. He's really actually handling himself with a lot of class. So, former Slipknot percussionist Chris Fehn has asked for his suit against the members of the band to be dismissed permanently. Fehn himself, again, has asked for the case to be dismissed, which will certainly be granted. And they asked for it to be dismissed with prejudice, which means the case can't be brought back later. The document was filed on Thursday of last week by Fehn's attorney, Mr. Joseph Dunn, and it says, notice of voluntary discontinuance. Plaintiff Chris Fehn, by and through his undersigned counsel and pursuant to New York Code, hereby affirms that the above entitled action be and the same is hereby discontinued as against all defendants with prejudice and without cost to any party, and this notice may be filed with the clerk of the court without further notice, respectfully submitted by his attorney. So this brings up a myriad of different questions. Number one, what is the status of Chris Fehn's relationship with his former bandmates in Slipknot? Sometimes band members get into legal entanglements and they're actually able to work it out. Was this a settlement? We don't know that yet. So, could Chris Fehn return to Slipknot? It's possible, but I would doubt that this was going to happen. The reason I say that is not that Chris Fehn isn't a perfectly capable musician ready to play in the band, but I think when you sue your bandmates, they're probably not willing to bring you back necessarily. I think what is possible, and again, I want to say that I don't know this, it is possible that Fehn reached an out-of-court settlement with the members in exchange for leaving this case behind and pulling it out of the court. Almost all cases that are filed in civil court like this are resolved in this way. So Fehn is now returning to public life and coming out of the shadows onto his social media accounts, where he's posting about his absence and what he's up to these days, and also how he hopes people can understand why he hasn't been on social media. He doesn't say much, but we get a picture of pretty much what he's been doing during this time. He says, "Sorry for the delay in my posts. I think you can all understand. New life. Dad. Loving it." Fehn looking very happy here with his son, who is apparently in the Boy Scouts. And the last time he posted before that, except for a promo for a one-off song he did, was way back in February, if you can believe that. So it's great to see that Chris is happy here, and he seems to be doing well, focusing full-time on being a father at this point. We wish him all the best.
Are there stories you have in your memory that you would tell your children or children's children from being on the road, like a very nice meeting with a fan or a story a fan told you, like a moment that really touched you that you could pick?
Yeah, I remember we did an in-store in Poland. I think it was during the Iowa record. And this little kid came up, and I swear he was probably 5 years old, and he had made each of us out of paper and, tape and paper, and like kind of drew on each one of our faces. And he didn't want our autograph. He didn't want a picture with us. He wanted to give us each what he made. And it just fucking broke my heart, man, and, but I'll never forget that till the day I die, and I still have it sitting in my house.